All right, so get this. You've got Man City, 6 Premier League titles, right? Facing off against Liverpool at Anfield electric atmosphere. But then the crowd starts chanting "sacked in the morning" at Pep Guardiola.
Oh, wow.
Talk about adding fuel to the fire. This isn't just any rivalry.
No.
It's a clash of styles, philosophies, legacies.
Yeah, and the fact that it's happening at Anfield, I think makes it even more fascinating.
Right.
It's not just that the fans are passionate.
Yeah.
You know, there's always been this underlying respect for Guardiola there, now almost an appreciation for like the beauty of his game, even from rival supporters.
Yeah. But respect only goes so far when your team is on a historic losing streak.
And it's not just any losing streak.
Right.
4 consecutive Premier League losses. City hasn't seen a drought like this since 2008.
Oh, wow.
And to put it in perspective, in Guardiola's entire managerial career, he's only had one other instance of losing 4 in a row in the league.
Wow, that puts things in a whole new light.
Yeah.
So how does Guardiola, this tactical genius, respond to this unprecedented pressure cooker?
Well, with a gesture that's as subtle as it is defiant.
Okay.
He holds up 6 fingers.
Oh.
A clear reminder of his 6 Premier League titles.
Interesting.
Almost like he's saying, yeah, we're in a rough patch, but don't forget what we've accomplished.
But isn't that a bit arrogant, given their situation? I mean, they're in a serious slump.
Yeah.
No wins in 7 games across all competitions.
Perhaps, but it's also classic Guardiola, right? He thrives on pressure, on proving doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a manager who has constantly reinvented himself, his tactics, his teams.
Right.
This gesture could be his way of saying, we're not down, and now we'll be back.
It's almost like a psychological chess match, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
He's playing mind games with everyone, the fans, the media, maybe even his own players.
And that's what makes Guardiola so fascinating. He's not just a brilliant tactician. He's a master motivator, a psychologist. And this situation, this test at Anfield, is bringing out all those dimensions of his personality.
So he flashes the 6 fingers at Anfield, but then he does it again to City fans after the match. What's he trying to communicate there? Is it just about the past, or is there something more to it?
It's a message of reassurance, but also a call to action.
Okay.
He's saying, we've been here before, we've conquered challenges, and we can do it again. It's a reminder of their shared history, of the bond between manager, players, and fans.
It's like he's drawing a line in the sand saying, this is where we turn things around.
Exactly. And it's particularly interesting because of what he said after the match. These players have given me the chance to live maybe the best years of my life.
Yeah.
All I can do is be here to try to find a solution.
It's like he's acknowledging his legacy is on the line, but he's not giving up on his players or himself. There's still that fire, that belief that they can get back to the top.
And that's what separates the truly great managers from the rest. It's not just about winning titles. It's about how you respond to adversity, how you rebuild, how you maintain that unwavering belief in your vision, even when the odds are stacked against you.
You've got pundits like Jamie Carragher, a Liverpool legend, saying City's title hopes are over.
Right.
Then you have Micah Richards, a former City player, seeing it as a temporary setback. It's like the whole football world is trying to figure out what this slump means.
It's a fascinating debate, and I think it's a bit more nuanced than simply City is doomed versus they'll bounce back.
Okay.
Carragher's looking at the points gap,
Yeah.
the momentum shift, the psychological impact of this losing streak. He's seeing a vulnerability in City that hasn't been there before.
Oh, Richards, he's been in that City dressing room. He knows Guardiola. He knows the mentality.
Exactly. And he's probably thinking back to other times when City faced adversity, maybe even specific moments when they looked shaky and yet they found a way to come back stronger.
So what's the truth? Is this a blip or the beginning of the end for Guardiola City?
The answer might lie in a seemingly cryptic comment Guardiola made. He said the club needs to make decisions for the future. Now, on the surface, that could sound like any manager talking about long-term planning.
But knowing Guardiola, there's always more to it, right? What's he really hinting at?
That's what we'll unpack in the next part of this deep dive. Well, Guardiola is known for his meticulous planning, right? And his constant drive to evolve.
Right.
This comment about decisions for the future suggests he's already thinking about how to revamp this City squad.
It makes you wonder, what kind of decisions are we talking about here? Is he thinking about like specific players who might need to be replaced?
That's definitely a possibility. He might be looking at players who have been crucial to their success,
Right.
but are showing signs of decline. Or maybe players who haven't fully adapted to a system. This could be a signal that a major squad overhaul is on the horizon.
And wouldn't that be something? City has always been active in the transfer market, but we could be talking about a whole new level of change here.
It's not just about personnel, though. Guardiola is a master tactician.
Right.
He's always innovating, tweaking his formations, finding new ways to unlock his players' potential. Maybe this comment is hinting at a tactical evolution, a shift in his approach to the game.
That's what's so exciting about Guardiola. He's never satisfied, never complacent. Even with 6 Premier League titles, he's still searching for ways to improve to stay ahead of the curve.
And that's why this moment is so pivotal.
Yeah.
He's facing a challenge unlike any he's encountered at City. The question is, can he adapt? Can he find the solutions to regain their dominance? Or is this the beginning of a new era in the Premier League?
Right.
One where City is no longer the undisputed force.
But let's not forget, Guardiola thrives on challenges. He's built dynasties at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and now City. He's a master at rebuilding, at reinvention.
True, but there's a sense that this time it might be different.
Okay.
The Premier League is more competitive than ever. Liverpool is back with a vengeance. Arsenal is a genuine title contender, and young, hungry teams like Newcastle are emerging. City can't just rely on past success. They need to evolve to stay ahead.
It's almost like we're watching a changing of the guard in real time. The old order is being challenged, and it's up to Guardiola to prove that he and City can still dictate the terms.
And that's what makes this season so compelling. It's not just about the title race. It's about the legacy of Pep Guardiola, the future of Manchester City, and the evolution of the Premier League itself.
Okay, let's step back for a second. We've talked about the sacked in the morning chant, the 6-finger salute, the losing streak, and Guardiola's cryptic comments. What does it all add up to? What's the bigger picture here?
I think this test at Anfield, has exposed a vulnerability in Guardiola's City that we haven't seen before. It's forced him to confront uncomfortable questions about his team, his tactics, and maybe even his own legacy.
He's not used to being the underdog, the one with something to prove.
Exactly. And that's why this is such a defining moment. How he responds, how he adapts, how he navigates this pressure will shape the next chapter of his career and perhaps even redefine his place in football history.
So is this a blip on the radar for a dynasty, or are we witnessing the twilight of Guardiola's reign at City?
That's the million-dollar question. Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, we are watching a master at work facing his greatest challenge yet, and the outcome will have ripple effects throughout the football world.
You know, it's amazing to think that a single match, right, a single chant, could trigger such a deep dive into Guardiola's psyche, City's future, and the evolving dynamics of the Premier League.
Yeah, it speaks to the power of moments like these. They offer a glimpse into, the human drama behind the tactics and the trophies.
Right.
We see the pressure, the doubt, the determination, and the unwavering belief that drive these individuals and teams.
And it's not just about Guardiola and City, is it? This test at Anfield has implications for the entire Premier League.
Right.
If City stumbles, who steps up? Can Liverpool reclaim their dominance? Will we see a new era of parity where any team can challenge for the title?
It's a fascinating time to be a football fan. The old hierarchies are being challenged, new contenders are emerging, and the tactical landscape is constantly evolving.
It makes you wonder what Guardiola's next move will be. Will he stick to his philosophy, or will we see him adapt, evolve, maybe even reinvent himself once again?
That's the beauty of it, right? We can speculate, analyze, and debate, but ultimately we'll have to wait and see how this season unfolds.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this episode?
I'd say it's this. Even at the highest level of sport, even for someone like Pep Guardiola, there are always challenges, always moments of doubt, always room for growth. And it's how we respond to those challenges, how we learn and adapt, that ultimately defines our legacy.
Beautifully said. And for our listener, as you watch the rest of this Premier League season unfold, remember that every match, every goal, every decision could be a turning point in this ever-shifting narrative. It's a reminder that in football, as in life, nothing is guaranteed, and that's what makes it so captivating.